The story begins hundreds of years into the future, long after Earth has witnessed an apocalyptic war against an alien species known as the Formics, insect-like creatures with superior technology. These aliens invaded Earth, causing mass destruction and the death of millions of humans. Humanity seemed helpless against their advanced warfare, until one brave pilot, known only as Major, made the ultimate sacrifice. In a desperate move, Major crashed his aircraft directly into the Formic mothership. The resulting explosion wiped out the enemy fleet and ultimately saved Earth from total annihilation. Major's sacrifice became legendary, and he was immortalized as the savior of humanity. 50 years later, the human race was still haunted by the memory of the Formic War. Fearing another invasion, Earth's governments united to form the International Fleet, an interplanetary military organization tasked with defending Earth. They realized traditional soldiers would not be enough against such a threat. The solution? Train gifted children from a young age in tactics, strategy, and combat using simulation games and zero-gravity exercises. These children were sent to a space-based training facility called Battle School, orbiting far above the planet. Each child wore a monitor on their neck to track vitals, emotions, and decision-making skills in real time. Among these recruits, one name stood out: Ender Wiggin. He was a boy of unmatched intelligence, strategic prowess, and emotional depth. His peers, intimidated by his capabilities, believed he was cheating. However, Ender remained silent and focused on his mission. Colonel Graff, a senior officer at Battle School, believed Ender could be the future commander who would lead humanity to final victory against the Formics. But his colleague, Major Anderson, wasn't convinced. In her opinion, brains weren't enough. They needed a true leader, someone who could inspire and manage a team under pressure. One day, Ender was summoned to the lab to have his monitor removed, a painful surgical procedure, but a signal that his primary training was complete. Without the monitor, he was now exposed and vulnerable. On his way out of the lab, a group of jealous students cornered him and accused him of cheating. They attacked him, but Ender was no longer under surveillance. He didn't hold back. He defended himself, injuring the group's leader so severely that the others scattered in fear. Watching from a surveillance feed, Graff was impressed. Ender had shown not only strength, but the foresight to end the conflict before it could escalate again, a commander's mindset. When Ender returned home, he confided in his sister Valentine, the only person he truly loved and trusted. Over dinner, his parents tried to assure him that defending himself wasn't wrong. Then, unexpectedly, Graff and Anderson arrived at their home. They had been monitoring Ender's behavior and told him he had passed their final test. He hadn't enjoyed hurting those boys. He had acted out of necessity. That, in their eyes, proved he had what it took to rejoin the program. Soon after, Ender boarded a spacecraft with a group of other children, all heading to Battle School. During the journey, he met Bean and Eli, two boys who would become his closest companions. Colonel Graff also joined them and openly told the other recruits that Ender was the smartest among them. That statement created tension, and the other kids began to resent Ender even more. When they finally arrived at Battle School, Ender confronted Graff and told him that making him stand out only isolated him. But Graff insisted that war doesn't allow for popularity contests, it demands leaders. As Ender entered his dormitory, a few students tried to test him, sizing him up as a potential threat or ally. Just then, Sergeant Dapp, the drill instructor, arrived and scolded everyone, reinforcing the school's strict code of conduct. In class, Graff showed the students a video of Major's final mission, the one where he sacrificed himself. While most of the children were in awe, Ender found something unsettling about the video. Something didn't add up. The next morning, the students had their first session in the battle room, a zero-gravity training arena. Ender was the first to be sent in. Gradually, the rest followed and began floating, learning to navigate in a world without gravity. Ender and Bean tested their laser weapons and discovered that if hit in any body part, the person would freeze and be eliminated temporarily from the game. Soon, the students were informed they would be competing against other teams within the school. Sergeant Dapp explained the rules. Hitting an opponent's hands or legs earned 1 point, while a chest shot was worth 6. If any player reached the enemy's gate unscathed, their team won instantly. Over the next 3 months, Ender trained rigorously. They studied alien flight patterns and practiced martial arts. Yet, something troubled Ender. No one had ever explained exactly how Major had defeated the alien fleet. Secrets were being kept. When Graf encouraged Ender to become a leader, he hesitated. He had no friends, and the school environment was built to isolate leaders. Then one day, Graf informed the class that a few senior students had failed to qualify for command school. That opened a rare opportunity for the current batch. In the following week, their teacher announced the results of the Deep Space Navigation Test. Only 3 students passed, Eli, Bean, and Ender. This announcement sparked jealousy, and another student, Bernard, accused them of cheating. But during lunch, the class began to shift their loyalty. They left Bernard and sat with Ender instead. Later that evening, Ender played a game on his tablet, watched quietly by Eli. In the game, he played as a mouse that had to choose between 2 glasses. One always led to death. Finally, Ender attacked the monster, who kept presenting the glasses, and advanced to the next level. Eli didn't understand how that was possible. Ender suspected the school was conditioning them toward violence. Unbeknownst to him, Graf and Anderson were watching the game too. It was a psychological test, and Ender was the first ever to beat that level, another sign of his unmatched mind. As a result, he was promoted to Salamander Army, a top-tier team that had never lost. In Salamander, Ender met Petra, the only female in the unit. She offered to train him in private, but their team leader, Bonzo Madrid, was furious at Ender's inclusion. He ordered Ender to stay out of the way during matches. Still, Petra secretly trained him, teaching him how to shoot and strategize. In their first match, Salamander was losing badly. Ender disobeyed Bonzo's orders to stay out and jumped into action, saving Petra and turning the tide. With quick thinking, he pretended to be frozen, stole 2 guns, and led a surprise attack, winning the match. Afterwards, the rest of the team praised Ender, further humiliating Bonzo. During martial arts practice, Bonzo punched Ender and threatened him. If Ender ever embarrassed him again, Bonzo promised to kill him. Soon after, Graf summoned Ender and offered him leadership of his own army, the Dragon Army. Ender accepted. His new squad included Eli, Bean, and even Bernard. Ender laid down strict rules: respect each other, work as a unit. Under his command, the team trained relentlessly. Within weeks, Dragon Army climbed to the 3rd rank. But Graf was under pressure from command to nominate a team for command school. Dragons weren't yet number 1. To force the issue, Graf organized a 3-way match: Dragons versus Salamanders versus Leopards. This had never been done before. In a rush to prepare, one of Ender's players was injured. Graf replaced him with Petra. During the match, Ender used Petra as a sniper and had Bean scout the room while tied to a rope. The plan worked. Ender's team surrounded the enemy gate and claimed victory. Later, in the showers, Bonzo ambushed Ender. Though Ender didn't want to fight, he was forced to defend himself. He accidentally hit Bonzo so hard that he knocked him unconscious. Bonzo was rushed to the hospital for surgery. Graf claimed he would survive, but Ender wasn't convinced. Feeling guilty and exhausted, Ender asked to return to Earth to see Valentine. Graf agreed, but he had one final request. After this short break, Ender would travel to command school. There, he would face simulations that were closer to real war than anything he had ever known. And what Ender didn't yet know was that the final simulation would be a real battle against the Formic homeworld, where humanity's fate rested on his shoulders.